Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Monday, January 11, 2021. Deutsche Welle report. COVID vaccine. BioNTech plans 2 billion doses this year. The German vaccine maker BioNTech and U.S. pharmaceutical giant Pfizer said they could produce up to 2 billion doses of their coronavirus vaccine in 2021, according to documents released on Monday. The new production goal is an increase on the previously planned 1.3 billion doses the partners had aimed for. BioNTech said the higher production estimate is based on improvements and enlargements at production facilities, and capacity increases at suppliers and production partners, according to documents submitted to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC).
Deutsche Welle report. U.S. puts Cuba back on state sponsor of terrorism list. The U.S. State Department put Cuba back on a blacklist designating it a state sponsor of terrorism. On Monday, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced the move in a statement, noting Cuba's harboring of U.S. fugitives as well as its support for Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. It's the latest in a series of major policy moves made by President Donald Trump's administration before President-elect Joe Biden takes office on January 20.
BBC report. Capitol Police officer Eugene Goodman heralded as a hero. Footage of the officer, identified as Eugene Goodman, shows him just steps ahead of rioters as they chase him up a flight of stairs. Mr. Goodman is then seen glancing toward the Senate entrance before luring the men in the opposite direction. 5 people, including a police officer, died as a result of the riots. The show of bravery from Mr. Goodman, reportedly an Army veteran who spent time in Iraq, comes amid criticism of Capitol Police for apparent security failures during the storming of the Capitol.
Al Jazeera report. WHO won't achieve herd immunity in 2021, despite vaccines. Herd immunity will not be achieved this year despite COVID-19 vaccines being rolled out in a number of countries, the World Health Organization has warned. Last month, the United Kingdom became the first country in the world to start administering its citizens with a fully trialed and tested COVID-19 vaccine. Since then, more than 30 countries have rolled out their vaccination programs. We are not going to achieve any levels of population immunity or herd immunity in 2021, WHO's chief scientist Soumya Swaminathan told a briefing in Geneva on Monday.
BBC report. Sri Lanka, war monument to be rebuilt after hunger strike. The memorial to Tamils who lost their lives in Mullavikal was demolished at Jaffna University last week. The University Grants Commission (UGC) had said that the monument was a threat to unity in the country. But angry students protested and went on hunger strike over its demolition. Now the monument is to be rebuilt, said the university's vice-chancellor, who laid a foundation stone on Monday. The monument was built in 2019 in memory of Tamils who lost their lives in the 26-year civil war between government forces and the Tamil Tiger rebel group.
Deutsche Welle report. Capitol violence sets up Donald Trump's last stand. U.S. President Donald Trump entered his last 10 days in office on Monday as new details from the Capitol siege came to light and members of his own party turned on him. The White House lowered its flag to half-staff on Sunday to honor Brian Sicknick, the Capitol police officer who was killed during the violence at the Capitol building in Washington on Wednesday. The move came only after days of protest from Democrats and Republicans alike regarding the lack of response from the president.
Fox report. Pope Francis to receive COVID-19 vaccine this week. Pope Francis will receive the coronavirus vaccine this week, he revealed during an interview on Italian TV. Speaking with TG5 News, the Pope said he will receive the first shot and declared it an ethical duty for everyone to get vaccinated. Everyone should get the vaccine, the Pope said, according to the Today Show. Without a vaccine, you are playing with health, life, but also with the health of others.
CNN report. A filter made for astronaut urine could soon be providing drinking water on Earth. Last month marked 20 years of continuous human presence on the International Space Station (ISS). Scientific research to improve life aboard the ISS has led to countless developments in space technology, but it has also brought benefits to people on Earth. LED lighting technology developed to help astronauts avoid sleep deprivation has been adapted for domestic use. A weightlifting system to keep astronauts fit in zero gravity is being used in home workouts.
Al Jazeera report. In pictures, Hondurans show resilience, solidarity after storms. More than a month after 2 hurricanes wreaked havoc in Honduras, hundreds of thousands of people displaced by mass flooding and mudslides are still struggling to cope, surviving with little to no outside assistance. But residents say a strong sense of solidarity is one of the few things keeping the displaced families, now living in makeshift campsites and overcrowded communal shelters, going. Communities banded together to get through Eta and Iota, which struck Central America in November, and now they are attempting to clean damaged homes.
Al Jazeera report. Biden faces calls to reverse Houthi terrorist group designation. United States lawmakers are calling on President-elect Joe Biden to overturn the Trump administration's decision to label Yemen's Houthi rebels a foreign terrorist organization, slamming it as short-sighted and a death sentence for millions of people already reeling from years of war. House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Gregory Meeks said the designation announced by U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo early on Monday endangers the lives of the Yemeni people.
BBC report. Uganda elections 2021. Facebook shuts government-linked accounts. The social media giant said a network connected with the Ministry of Information had been using fake and duplicate accounts to impersonate users and boost the popularity of posts. In a BBC interview, the government accused Facebook of being biased. The run-up to the election has been marred by tension and violence. After 35 years in power, President Yoweri Museveni, 76, is being strongly challenged by music star Bobi Wine, who is 38 and draws much of his support from young people.
Fox report. 2 Virginia police officers on leave, face review after selfie surfaces from inside Capitol. 2 officers with the Rocky Mount Police Department in Virginia have been placed on administrative leave pending a review into their activities in Washington, D.C., the day rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol. The police department has notified federal authorities about 2 of its officers who were off duty when they attended an event in Washington, D.C., on Jan. 6, according to a press release published by the town of Rocky Mount, VA.
Fox report. NYPD helping FBI probe into Capitol riot as reports claim agencies warned of impending violence. The FBI is counting on the help from New York City's police department to investigate an officer's possible involvement in last week's violent storming of the U.S. Capitol, as new reports claim that D.C. officials were warned about online threats prior to the riots. An NYPD spokesperson told Fox News on Monday that the department is collaborating with the FBI to probe any allegations that a member of the New York City Police Department may have been involved in the events that marred the Capitol last week.
CNN report. What to expect at the first ever all-digital CES 2021. Disinfectant gadgets, next-generation fitness equipment and robots that help you cook dinner. Those are a few of the countless new products expected to be unveiled next week at the Consumer Electronics Show, the annual splashy tech conference that typically sets the tone for the biggest trends of the year. Home automation, health and 5G will once again be buzzy topics, but many companies will also introduce pandemic-specific features to reflect our increased time at home.
CNN report. She helps Google workers be productive. Here are her pro tips. We can all use a little help when it comes to being more productive, especially these days, whether we're working from home or still going into the workplace. Many of us have struggled to stay as productive as we were before the pandemic. Google said last month that its employees won't be returning to the office until September. That means the company will have to make a concerted effort to keep its workforce motivated and effective.
Fox report. Iranian nuclear deal must be restored soon, UN atomic watchdog warns. The United Nations atomic watchdog chief stressed urgency Monday in reviving an Obama-era nuclear deal aimed at thwarting Iran's pursuit of nuclear weapons, a report says. Rafael Grossi, the Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA), spoke out after Iran resumed enriching uranium up to 20%, which is closer to the 90% purity needed to create nuclear weapons, according to Reuters.
CNN report. Investigative report offers up close look at Jacob Blake shooting in Wisconsin. The encounter that ended with the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Wisconsin last summer began with a family trouble call to 911 from the mother of his children. LaQuisha Booker had made such calls before, according to an investigative report by Kenosha County District Attorney Michael Gravely, WHO on Tuesday outlined a review of more than 40 hours of video and hundreds of documents in an effort to determine what happened the day of the shooting.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.